From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, October 5th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.93 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,272 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $611. Antiwar.com reports continued fighting over the central Yemeni city of Taiz continues to take a toll on the civilian population, with medical officials reporting rocket strikes against the Bir al-Bashad district hitting a group of civilians, killing 10 of them, including children. Details are still scant, though pro-Saudi officials are quick to blame the Shiite Houthis for the attack, noting that the district has been a target for them in the past. Pictures of slain civilians were widely circulated on social media. The city of Taiz has been the site of major fighting on both sides, with the pro-Saudi forces trying to gain control of the main highway between their de facto capital of Aden and the capital city of Sana'a. The city is divided, however, and the Houthis have made recent gains. Fighting in urban areas around Yemen have left massive numbers of civilians dead, with both sides repeatedly faulted for careless targeting. The United Nations has estimated that a strong majority of the civilians slain in the war so far have been the result of Saudi airstrikes, though the Houthis have been responsible for quite a few themselves. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Oklahoma Supreme Court unanimously struck down a bill passed by the state legislature restricting abortion in a ruling on Tuesday that the measure was unconstitutional. Senate Bill 642 was passed in 2015 but did not go into effect pending a court decision. It encompassed 4 abortion-related topics: parental consent for minors, tissue preservation, inspection of clinics, and legal liability of abortion providers. Justice Joseph Watt wrote for the 9-member court, "We find that each of the 4 sections of SB 642 lack a common purpose and are not germane, relative, and cognate. Although each section relates in some way to abortion, the broad sweep of each section does not cure the single subject defects in this bill. Although defendants urge that SB 642 does not constitute log rolling, we find the provisions are so unrelated that those voting on this bill were faced with a constitutionally prohibited all-or-nothing choice to ensure the passage of favorable legislation. The 9-member court ruled the legislation placed an undue burden on access to abortion under the guise of protecting the health of women. The law would have penalized violators, including a felony for someone who helped obtain an abortion without parental consent, and it would have required providers to preserve fetal tissue when an abortion was performed on someone under the age of 14. During the 2013 Porcupine Freedom Festival, Davi Barker presented an idea for a renegade psychological experiment. Since then, he has refined his idea and put his plan and research into writing. Authoritarian Sociopathy is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley declared a state of emergency on Tuesday and ordered an evacuation of more than 1 million people in coastal areas starting Wednesday afternoon in anticipation of Hurricane Matthew. Florida and Georgia have also called states of emergency for a storm that pounded the Caribbean with 145-mile-per-hour winds and surging seas and was expected to start affecting U.S. coastal areas late Thursday or early Friday. Haley pleaded with people to get 100 miles away from the coast, but did not say if there would be penalties for those who refuse to comply. She told reporters, "We do not do voluntary or mandatory anymore. An evacuation is an evacuation." By declaring a state of emergency, Haley can mobilize 1,800 members of the National Guard. Highways will have all lanes directed away from the coast for the evacuation, and the state will close schools and county government offices in 26 of the state's 46 counties starting Wednesday. Hurricane Matthew is expected to be a Category 2 or 3 hurricane when it brushes or hits South Carolina on Friday night. Officials anticipate 100-mile-per-hour winds and 5 to 7-foot storm surges in coastal South Carolina. Florida Governor Rick Scott, who declared a state of emergency for all 67 counties of Florida on Monday, has activated 200 members of the Florida National Guard to support any needed hurricane response and put another 6,000 on standby. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.